Please welcome to the stage the Chancellor of North Carolina State University, Kevin Howell.
Thank you, and I'm going to follow that up by saying go Canes, but also go Pack. Good morning, everyone. Let's do that again. I think we can do better than that. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. There we go. It's my pleasure to join you today at the Emerging Issues Forum. For 39 years, this forum has focused attention on the biggest issues facing North Carolina, while highlighting pathways that leaders from across our state can work together on to find common solutions. As you know, today's forum is titled Future Forward Energy, with an emphasis on ensuring that our energy infrastructure is not only resilient, but reliable and affordable. And as we prepare for our energy future, we must ensure that the state's infrastructure is driven by advances in research and in technology that can meet our evolving needs. Now, I can think of no better place to have this discussion on energy than here at NC State University. Here at NC State University, NC State is a research powerhouse. We stand at the leading edge of discovery and innovation. We collaborate with industry and government to overcome global challenges that improve our world. Our world-class faculty and staff, many that you've heard from here today that are here, they're working together to create innovative technologies to address key energy challenges in our state and beyond. On our campus, there is much important work underway to understand and support the future of energy infrastructure. I want to highlight just a couple of these initiatives. The Freedom Center, what are they doing? They're working to modernize our electric grid by building a network of distributed energy resources that intelligently manages power using secure communications and safeguard and advanced electronics. Our Claws Hub initiative partners with research groups in North Carolina and around the nation to help create a direct pathway to reduce the country's reliance on foreign microelectronics and safeguard the nation from supply chain risk. And finally, we've just completed a study to assess the feasibility of establishing and operating an advanced nuclear research and test reactor, an important first step toward positioning not only NC State, but in turn North Carolina to be a national frontrunner in advanced nuclear technology. So not only do we have talented faculty members and staff working on energy-related issues, but we have exceptional students. Students have the opportunities to train and to conduct research with these and other innovative technologies, and also have the opportunity to work with great companies like Duke Energy. We're bringing in even more talented students to the university through Engineering North Carolina's Future. It's an initiative that's supported by the North Carolina General Assembly, helping us as we increase the overall enrollment in our College of Engineering by 4,000 additional students. At NC State, we are incredibly proud not only to educate our students, but to equip our students to be future leaders and to support the workforce needs of our state. Thank you for allowing me just to share a little bit. I didn't name everything, but I appreciate the opportunity to talk about all of the great work that's happening at NC State University. Now, I'm pleased to have the distinct honor today to introduce our governor, Josh Stein. Governor Stein is no stranger to the Emerging Issues Forum, having attended many over the course of his career as the North Carolina Senator, as well as Attorney General. But like me, this is his first time attending in his new role as governor. In his first 3 months of his term, Governor Stein has highlighted already the need for infrastructure investments that prepare all of us for the challenges and opportunities of tomorrow. Governor Stein will share more with us about his vision for North Carolina's energy landscape. Please join me in welcoming the 76th governor of the great state of North Carolina, Governor Josh Stein.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Chancellor Howell, for those preliminary words and your kind introduction. And it's kind of cool to be able to say Chancellor in front of your name. Kevin, thank you, and we're excited about your tenure. To all the people who've worked hard to put on this conference, I want to thank you for your hard work. I want to also say what a pleasure it is. As I look out into the room, I see a number of friends. Good to be with you all. Each of you are doing important things for the state of North Carolina and for building a clean energy future. It's an honor to be able to address this topic, this most pressing of issues, energy policy and climate change. Our state is at a crossroads. At the same time, our energy demands are rising rapidly, and our current energy system is not prepared for the growth that we are experiencing. This gap presents a liability for our state that needs addressing, but it also represents an opportunity. We have the chance to build a state that is safer, stronger, cleaner, and more resilient. I'm determined to work in partnership with all of you to do just that. Of course, we still have work to do to meet our clean energy goals of reducing dependence on carbon, but I'm proud to say that we start in a pretty strong position. In the last 15 years, North Carolina has reduced its greenhouse gas emissions by the power sector by around 50%. At the same time, electricity rose at a slower rate than did inflation. So we've been able to reduce carbon and keep prices in check. This accomplishment occurred even as the population of the state increased dramatically, the economy grew, and many new jobs have been created. We have more work to do, of course, to realize fully a clean tech economy, and we have more work to do to reduce climate and air pollution. But we are on our way, and we are committed to getting this done. In many ways, the market demands that we do. Nearly half of the leading companies in the world have a net zero emissions target. Many of these companies want to call North Carolina home. In fact, many of them already do. Amazon, Google, Meta, Toyota, Honeywell. When these companies decided where to invest, they were looking for a strong workforce, a favorable business environment, an excellent quality of life, and places where they could get inexpensive, clean, and reliable electricity. They're looking for places that are committed to a clean energy future. They are looking for places like North Carolina. In many ways, there's never been a better time to invest in clean energy. It sounds counterintuitive. Between 2010 and 2019, the cost of utility-grade solar fell by 85%. The cost of wind power by 55%. The cost of lithium-ion batteries fell by 85%. Increasingly, clean electricity is the cheapest form of new electricity generation. So that is where people are investing. More than 90% of power capacity that our country added last year was from solar, batteries, and wind. 90%. When you add nuclear and other carbon-free sources, it was 96%. Here in North Carolina, there's more than $1.5 billion of announced or in-progress investments in clean energy deployment. That is on top of $4 billion of energy projects that are clean since 2018 that are already generating electricity in our state. Since 2017, in North Carolina, the amount of solar power installed has nearly tripled. And in 2017, we were already number 2 in installed solar in the entire country. Last year alone, developers installed nearly 400 megawatts of solar and wind, the product of nearly $900 million in investments in our state. We've seen more than 20,000 good-paying, clean energy jobs and more than $24 billion in capital investments in our state's clean energy economy since 2017. For example, just last month, I was in Greenville. I joined Boviet Solar for its grand opening of its new solar module manufacturing facility. They have already hired 400 employees nearly, and they're going to keep hiring. If things progress as they fully expect, when they get to phase 2, that number should increase to over 1,000 employees, making them one of the largest private sector employers in the county of Pitt. We are a top 10 state in the nation for the number of clean energy jobs, with more than 100,000 workers in the clean energy sector. Unfortunately, some in Congress want to slow our growth. They want to repeal the Inflation Reduction Act. They want to get rid of clean energy and manufacturing tax credits that have supercharged the clean energy economy in our state. Repealing these credits would cost the state tens of thousands of jobs by 2030 and billions of dollars in investment that is ready to be made. It would also hit people's wallets. Repealing these credits could raise families' electricity costs by about $200 a year. Many folks can't afford that increase, and they shouldn't have to. We've been in touch with our congressional delegation about this, and I encourage all of you to reach out to your congresspeople and your U.S. senators to urge them to keep these critical programs. We need cooler heads to prevail, and I'm hopeful that they will, because our congressional delegation knows what we know, that North Carolina is a leader in the clean energy economy and well-positioned for more success. We have a competitive edge. We can have economic success and a clean future. It is not one or the other. In fact, they are integrally linked. That's why my administration is pursuing both goals aggressively. We're committed to expanding our economy, creating good-paying jobs, especially in clean tech, to reducing greenhouse gases and air, water, and chemical pollution, and to increasing our state's resilience to extreme weather. We have certainly seen our fair share, more than our fair share, of extreme weather, and understand that we have to be ready when it strikes. We're entering hurricane season at this point, and I can assure you that this is top of mind to my administration. To accomplish all of our goals, we need to accelerate clean energy deployment, modernize and strengthen our utility grid, and innovate when it comes to energy efficiency. We need to have sufficient electricity to support continued economic growth and new industries. And we need to figure out how to expand our energy supply without raising utility prices for consumers. Currently, the greatest driver in higher utility bills is fuel costs. So we can help keep our prices down by further diversifying our energy sources. Clean energy produces electricity that is not subject to the same roller coaster as fuel prices, because unlike natural gas, the sun is free. Last year, our state was ranked in the top 5 for total installed solar capacity, alongside Texas, Florida, California, and Arizona. Now remember, I earlier said we were in the top 2, so our position is not stagnant. We're actually falling relative to what's happening in other states, so we must strengthen our efforts or else we risk falling further behind. We can continue pushing forward with wind power both onshore and offshore. That means more projects like the Timber Mill Wind in Chowan County. The wind farm recently started operating. It now provides up to 189 megawatts of power and will soon be the largest single taxpayer in the county. It means continuing to move forward with planning for offshore wind at Kitty Hawk and Wilmington wind project areas, even with the current challenging federal regulatory environment. It also means continuing to deploy batteries across our state that can strengthen grid resilience, improve reliability of renewables, and allow us to more effectively utilize our abundant clean energy. It also means planning for small modular nuclear reactors when they become available. As we pursue these goals, I want to highlight some of the efforts to invest in clean energy and to lower costs for families. Last year, North Carolina was awarded a $156 million grant by the EPA to strengthen solar use in communities across the state. The Energize NC program will create jobs by developing a trained workforce for installing solar panels, and it will enable homes and businesses to install solar panels with an emphasis on low-income families. These solar projects will reduce our state's emissions, and they'll bring utility bills down for the families who participate. In January, I joined Secretary of Environmental Quality, Reed Wilson, as we launched the Energy Saver NC program to promote energy efficiency in North Carolina. It's a more than $200 million rebate program that will provide rebates to households that install energy efficiency appliances, improve home insulation, and upgrade electrical systems. Energy Saver NC will lower utility bills, help reduce demands on our grid, and create job opportunities for installers across North Carolina. As some of you may be aware, the programs like the ones I just talked about have experienced a lot of uncertainty in the past months with the new administration, but all of them are still moving forward. These programs are two powerful examples of how we can put money back in people's pocket, strengthen our economy, and move towards a clean energy economy all at the same time. It is about moving forward. That is true nowhere more than in western North Carolina, where our neighbors continue to confront the devastation that Hurricane Helene wreaked. From our first day, my administration has been laser focused on helping those folks to recover. As we do the difficult work of seeking federal and state dollars and putting them to work in communities, we cannot ignore the fact that North Carolina is experiencing more extreme weather with increasing frequency. We know that climate change makes extreme weather events like Hurricane Helene more likely to occur. As we rebuild our energy infrastructure out west, we must be mindful of the need to adapt to a changing climate and ensure greater resiliency for the future. One example of how we can do that is by expanding residential and community solar grids and microgrids. Fuel can be expensive and hard to transport in the wake of a disaster, but solar power can be collected in place without any need for transportation. In the wake of Hurricane Helene, solar microgrids and generators helped many people get power back more quickly in the weeks after the storm, even while the grid was still down. In Hot Springs, a new microgrid operated by Duke Energy managed to weather the storm when a substation that served the town did not. The microgrid reduced what could have been a multi-week power outage to just a few days. The choices we make today help us be prepared better for the disasters of tomorrow. Folks, I don't need to tell anyone in this room, but we are blessed to be of this place, blessed to be able to call North Carolina home. We're home to incredible natural beauty, from those Blue Ridge Mountains to the Barrier Islands and everywhere in between. Home to kind and generous people, home to a dynamic, growing economy, home to an incredible quality of life. Investing in clean water, clean air, clean energy is an investment in that quality of life. It's an investment in our state's beauty, an investment in our economic strength, an investment in our home. I look forward to partnering with each of you all in the months and years to come, God willing, as we work together to build a North Carolina that's safer, stronger, cleaner, more resilient, and more prosperous with opportunity for everybody. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
All right, thank you, Governor Stein, for joining us at this year's Emerging Issues Forum and for sharing your energy priorities for North Carolina. The policy and programmatic recommendations coming out of this forum and the other ones in our infrastructure series, we trust that they will be an asset to you and other leaders across our state.